In lake-like seas, after casting off the dock of Estepona Marina at daybreak, we motored westward. Today was the last leg of our Mediterranean passage, and we were transiting from the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean, an event that proved to be very emotional for me. Today is Sunday, the 13th of August. We left Estepona Marina at daybreak, and we are just meandering down the coast. And as I turn around, you'll see a rather large complex here. It looks like it's got a golf course as well. And we're also motoring in lake-like seas, completely flat. We are also in the area where the orca attacks occurred in July. There was 9 of them, and the little red and white balls are 2 of the positions where these attacks took place. So we're staying very close to shore, definitely less than 60 feet, 20 meters. Right, to say we are a little in awe would be a complete understatement when we realize that this black patch through the cloud is actually the Rock of Gibraltar. We had absolutely no idea it was this high. It's absolutely stunning, amazing to see. Closer up of the rock, just amazing. So this is a closer up view as we round the Rock of Gibraltar. The airport is just in the distance here. There's an EasyJet flight on the runway. And as we come round, we can't see the tops of these high-rise buildings. They're all shrouded in the fog. And more importantly, we can't see the rock at all. We had the previous view of it, and that's it. So we can't even see the end of the mainland. It's barely, you can see it through the fog there. But yeah, about to exit the Mediterranean and enter the Atlantic. Woohoo! It's Roy checking the water maker, but this is the fog we're sailing in. Just very, very limited visibility here. And we stick into the coastline and the shallower water that we can. We can't go too shallow though, because we've got a few obstacles like shipwrecks and stuff along the way, so we've got to go out into slightly deeper water for that. But yeah, very dense fog actually. Haven't been in this since we sailed in San Francisco. This is a complete whiteout that we're in. About to head closer to land again. We had to come out to go around some North Cardinals. We can hear the foghorns. Yeah, this is a thick, thick fog. So you can see the coastline right in front of us. We're just coming back into shallower water, and I think we're going to round the tip just about there. It's such dense fog though, but I think that's it. I think that's the lighthouse on the tip of Europe. Crazy that we can hardly see anything. So not long now before we actually round it.
Yes, Castle Kingston.
Definitely a highlight of the circumnavigation.
Friggin' numpty in a bloody canoe.
In a canoe. Now you know why they got lost at sea. We now have our explanation as to the Mayday call of somebody on a kayak. Seems to be pretty normal. Fog has started to clear slightly, but we still can't see the entire rock face. This is what we can see. And as I come round, there's the tip of Europe. Not long now before we go round it. As the rock, then the lighthouse, appeared through the fog, I started to cry and couldn't stop until we were all the way round. Although it was another wonderful memory to treasure on our circumnavigation and a monumental achievement given everything we'd endured with my health, it was also bittersweet, realizing that this chapter of our lives was coming to an end in the not-too-distant future. The relief and disbelief that we had actually made it this far against the odds hit me like a ton of bricks. About 3 minutes to go before we actually round the tip and into the Atlantic Ocean. A little overwhelming for Elaine, to be honest. We've managed to get this far. Just one more ocean to cross. Are you kidding? Almost there. Oh, maybe I can see more of the rock. Oh look, I can actually see the rock face. Woohoo! Brilliant. The fog cleared enough for us to see it. It's fabulous. Okay. Lots of little fishing boats out, and we're making the turn. And with that, it'll be goodbye to the Mediterranean. Hello, Atlantic Ocean. Right, continuing to round the point of Europe. Gibraltar rock cleared, fog cleared around it just for a moment. Managed to see the top of it, and welcome to the Atlantic. And here, hopefully this comes out, you can actually see where Corporal's position is.
Stream, Betty stream, but apart.
Okay, so we've got through the Mediterranean Sea and into the Atlantic Ocean, just rounded the Rock of Gibraltar, and the fog lifted just enough for us to see the actual rock face on the top of it, and yeah, we're in the Atlantic. A little emotional for me. A little emotional for me, but hey ho. Anything else, Captain Roy, other than woohoo?
Hey ho.
Hey ho. And this is our view from the other side. Let's go around a little bit. There we go. We've made it into the marina, and we're staying on the Spanish side until the end of the month because the marina on the UK side couldn't take an earlier booking. So we'll be here, very pleasant. This is our view of Gibraltar Rock, and we'll come around the waterfront and various other buildings that we still have to go and explore. A celebratory drink was then enjoyed at the Alcadesa Lounge Bar, followed by dinner on board and bed. Although intermittently seeing the Rock of Gibraltar from the saloon and the cockpit kept startling us, a reminder of just how far we'd come. It was now, however, time to rest, recuperate, and enjoy the upcoming time with family.
Right, so I'm looking at today's weather forecast. 8 o'clock this morning, it says rain, which we didn't have. Then it's meant to be cloudy the whole day. It's been sunny the whole day. And then from 1400, we have fog all the way until Monday midnight. And right now it's 16:17 and it's still clear blue skies and bright sunshine. So welcome to today's forecast. Now Tuesday, bearing in mind today's Sunday, Tuesday they've forecast sunshine the whole day, so I'm guessing it's going to be a foggy day.
On Monday, the 14th of August, it was rather strange waking up to the realization that we had rounded the Rock of Gibraltar and reached La Linea de la Concepcion, and didn't have anything in particular to do, allowing us to enjoy a well-earned sleep in. Then, while Elaine prepared breakfast and tidied up, Roy gave the deck a cursory rinse before we set off on foot to cross the border into Gibraltar. Our singular mission was to post our yellow brick tracker to England to have the battery replaced, using the Royal Mail service in the hopes of avoiding any complications or delays. What we weren't expecting, though, were the long queues at the border crossing, but thankfully these moved quickly, and before we knew it, we were standing in mini Britain. Gibraltar is a British overseas territory and city located at the southern end of the Iberian Peninsula, whose history spans over 2,900 years. The peninsula has been one of the most fought-over places in Europe, given that its position guarding the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea is unrivaled, and it seems the fight continues today after complications caused by Brexit, which remain unresolved. It was rather disconcerting to realize after our first trip to Gibraltar just how overwhelmed we both were with the crowds, the noise, and the close quarters, leaving us wondering how on earth we were ever going to assimilate back on land. Unfortunately, our second visit wasn't any better, although we had hoped for an improvement, having been forewarned and forearmed. Back in La Linea, we got busy with our new to-do list. Yep, yet another list, compiled during our Mediterranean passage since leaving Fenike, Turkey in April. Our list of activities included maintenance of the port forward and aft heads, sorting out our propane issue that had plagued us since leaving Turkey and not being able to get our bottles filled, fixing a leak in the brand new starboard hot water tank, completing the oil checks on both engines and sail drives, replacing the water filters on the water maker, ensuring our high-volume portable bilge pump was still operating as expected, reassembling our drogue, inspecting and lubricating the steering system, extremely surprised to find one of the nuts had completely cracked through from metal fatigue, recalibrating the autopilot, replacing some of the panel bulbs that had blown on the engine instrument panel cluster, lubricating all the winches, hot kniving a few ropes, replacing our first reef line after Roy discovered it had chafed, replacing the shore power LED on the AC panel, flushing the cooling system on both engines, adjusting the V-belts, and lubricating the engine water pumps. Other less intensive activities included completing the customs and immigration documentation required for our entry into Gibraltar, getting our yacht registration renewed, purchasing our replacement flares and disposing of the expired ones, checking the grab bag, re-stenciling pawpaw on some of the safety equipment, and stopping at the beach to collect sand as a deterrent for the orcas. A few more trips were required back to Gibraltar, but we kept these to a minimum. They included a pre-arranged doctor's appointment for me to get my blood work done and to collect my pre-ordered medications, as well as to do a bit of shopping at Marks and Spencer's, visit Morrison's, one of our favorite British grocery stores, to load up on our favorite British goodies, posting our EPIRB after receiving confirmation that the battery could be replaced, and visiting the marina office at Queensway Quay Marina to ensure everything was in order for our imminent arrival. In between all the yacht maintenance activities, we found the time to take a walk to the beachfront on the Mediterranean side of La Linea and into the center of the little town, where we found lovely pedestrianized walkways lined with cafes, restaurants, bars, and shops, and of course stopped for a coffee and baked delight along the way. So this looks like an evening fun run is underway. And we've got prime seats as spectators. And today is the 25th of August. We've got another few days left on the Spanish side of the Iberian Peninsula, and we'll be moving over to Gibraltar. But right now, wow, there's a lot of people. It's crazy. Kids, children, obviously, adults. Pardon?
In a wheelchair.
And you see a wheel, oh yeah, in a wheelchair. Here comes the wheelchair. Brilliant. That's excellent. Monday the 28th of August was our day to deal with all the officialdom of clearing out of Spain and particularly out of the European Union. This meant at sunrise around 7:30 the following day we could be up and about, ready to cast off just in time for the fuel dock on the Gibraltar side to open. By 10:30 we had filled up with diesel and petrol, and I had manoeuvred Paw successfully into the most awkward berth ever at Queensway Marina. We certainly couldn't have gotten closer to the waterfront restaurant and bar, where we enjoyed a coffee and a baked delight once we were settled. It's fair to say at this point we both felt a sense of relief that we were actually berthed here, a reservation we'd made a year ago, and that our next stop was Ireland before commencing our Atlantic Ocean crossing. We were definitely looking forward to time with the family. It was hard to believe that 14 months had slipped away since last seeing everyone in Ireland. Today is Wednesday, the 30th of August. Yesterday we moved Paw from La Linea on the Spanish side of the Iberian Peninsula to Gibraltar. And this morning we decided to enjoy a little walk, explore a little in a different area of Gibraltar, and we've come to the Botanical Gardens. Very nice lush green, and as I come around, see the rest of them, there's Roy, but I'll stop talking so you can hear the monkeys and the birds. Before setting off to the Botanical Gardens, our life raft was collected for recertification. What we weren't expecting was a report back from the service provider indicating that we didn't have any food or water packed in the life raft. The Malaysian service provider had decided in their infinite wisdom to leave out the most important items, rendering it essentially useless, for the most part, had we needed to abandon ship. Disgraceful. This is another area of the Botanical Gardens. Little water feature here, all the tropical plants. We'll come around, little bridge here, and there's the pond on the other side. Setting those thoughts aside, we enjoyed dinner at the Stagione Italian restaurant. A stroll to the waterfront to watch the sunset was definitely needed after that. We were surprised, however, to see the number of fish as we peered over the wall into the water below, as the sun dropped behind the hillside in the distance. A rare blue supermoon brought our day to a close, a phenomenon that last occurred in 2009 and happens when 2 full moons occur in one calendar month. But in this instance, this blue moon coincided with a supermoon, when the moon appears higher and brighter than usual because the moon is at its closest point to its orbit around Earth. Other treats over the following days included a full English breakfast and a Sunday roast, followed by a delicious sticky toffee pudding with custard. In between these outings, Paw was officially put up for sale, and we sold a number of our miscellaneous items we no longer needed, including all our Navionics electronic charts, all our paper charts, many of our cruising guides and pilots, and a fair number of the courtesy flags we no longer required. It was a great trip down memory lane looking back over the stack of completed deck logs from all our passages, but a little sad too, knowing it was all coming to an end soon, and indeed disposing of them was difficult. Preparations were also undertaken to leave Paw unattended, and we enjoyed a fundraising event that took place along the waterfront of the marina, wrapping up our week in Gibraltar before heading to Ireland. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of September, and we are in Queensway Marina, and tonight they have a big event going on. I think it's a charity function for cancer awareness, and it's called One Night on the Catwalk. So we've got all these ladies, profile ladies, I don't know if you'll see any men, that are walking down the red carpet. By the 18th of September, we were back on Paw, having enjoyed a fabulous time with the family, but endured the most appalling travel experience both going to Ireland and returning. However, returning with all the new spares we needed, it was all hands on deck to get the last yacht task completed. Tasks included replacing the broken latch on the fridge, replacing the engine control panels, replacing the galley tap, but not before the sink had to be removed and resealed back in place, and getting the rigging inspection completed after installing the new rig in May. Then, besides our usual pre-sale checklist tasks to ensure all the onboard systems were working as expected, we rigged our pinger to help deter any orcas and completed our bulk provisioning, especially to get the items we wouldn't get in the Canary Islands. Before departing Gibraltar, we did get the opportunity to walk to the closest Irish bar to enjoy the World Cup rugby match between the Springboks and Ireland, and what a match it was, as both teams battled it out to the very end. It was a remarkable game. Congratulations to Ireland on their win. By the 27th of September, our tasks were completed and we had changed our plans, deciding to skip Morocco, and with that we cast off the dock, exited the marina and anchored off in the Bay of Gibraltar to spend the night and await our dawn departure. This meant we didn't have to wait on the marina gate opening later in the morning.